I call this meeting of the Northeast Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The time is 5:31. Item 2, board business. A, canvass of May 4th, 2024 trustee election. Ms. Caldwell.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, Dr. Micah, executive staff, and guests. On January the 8th, the Board of Trustees called for a general election to be held on May the 4th for the purpose of electing 4 trustees to single-member districts 1, 4, 5, and 6, respectively, for a term of 4 years. Additionally, on January 8th, the Board of Trustees called for a special election to be held on Saturday, May 4th, for the purpose of filling an existing vacancy in single-member District 2. This trustee position was to fill an unexpired portion of the term of its normal 4-year term, after which it will be up for election again in 2026 for its regular 4-year term. Texas Election Code Section 67.003 requires that the governing body canvass the election results. I will read into record the total votes for each candidate. I will also read the overvotes and undervotes for each candidate. An overvote occurs when a voter casts more votes than is what is for that position or that item. So on a ballot of where you can only select one, an overvote would occur if you accidentally selected 2. An undervote occurs when someone skips that ballot item, does not cast any vote in that election, and that is the undervote. So the votes are as follows. Michael Gurwitz, 1,254. Lisa Thompson, 2,962. Total votes cast, 4,216. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 33. Rhonda Rowland, 276. Tracy Shelton, 1,019. Jacqueline Klein, 477. Total votes cast, 1,772. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 87. Jack Hoyle, 593. David Byer, 1,367. Total votes cast, 1,960. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 45. Dick Rasmussen, 1,379. Chris Evans, 253. Melinda Cox, 1,943. Total votes cast, 3,575. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 25. Steve Hilliard, 1,179. Terry Chidgey, 2,112. Total votes cast, 3,291. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 36. Additionally, Appendix A, which is provided in the packet of information and will be part of the election record, includes the total number of votes in each precinct as required under Election Code 67.004. The board is required under Election Code Section 67.003 and Section 67.004 to conduct a canvass of the election before the newly elected trustees are able to assume their office.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell. Is there a motion to approve the resolution reflecting the canvassing of the results of the May 4th, 2024 general election for NEISD single-member districts 1, 4, 5, and 6, and special election for single-member District 2?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item B, qualifying newly elected trustees for office. Ms. Caldwell.
After the governing board completes the canvass, each candidate must be qualified for office. This includes issuing the certificate of election, completing the statement of officer, and taking the oath of office. The presiding officer of the canvassing authority, which is our current board president, Mrs. Shannon Grona, has signed the certificate of election that have been provided to the candidates. You have also received the statement of officer. The statement must be signed before taking the oath of office. The statement of officer reads, "I do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God." Candidates, please sign your statement of officer now. Now we are able to move forward with the oath of office. We have 5 board member-elects. Each candidate will take the oath individually. I will administer the oath unless the candidate has invited someone else who meets the requirements under Chapter 602 of the Government Code. After taking the oath of office, newly sworn officers may assume their duties of their office. Let's begin with Single Member District 1, Mrs. Lisa Thompson. Please raise, is it on? Thank you. Please raise your right hand and read the oath of office statement that has been provided to you.
I, Lisa Thompson, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee, Northeast ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
I have your oath of office for you to sign. You will sign here where it says signature of officer. I will notarize. And if you could please sign my notary book right here next to your name and complete your address. Yes, please. Thank you very much and congratulations. For Single Member District 2, Ms. Tracy Shelton. Can you introduce who's administering your oath, please?
The Honorable Judge Tyra Jones McCollum.
Thank you. So, ma'am, After she reads the oath, this is her signature, and then you will sign here as the witness.
Joyfully. It is my honor and my privilege to ask you, my very dear friend, Tracy Shelton, to please raise your right hand and read the oath of office of statement that has been provided to you.
I, Tracy Shelton, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee, Northeast ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will do my very best, to the best of my ability, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and this great state. So help me God.
Congratulations. So if you will sign here, Ms. Shelton, signature of officer. And then, ma'am, if you will sign and type your name. Thank you. For single member District 4, Mr. David Byer. You just say right there for just a second. Hold on 1 second. Please raise your right hand and read the oath of office statement that has been provided to you.
I, David Byer, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee, Northeast ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
If you could sign here, please.
Where we had it.
I will notarize. And if you could please sign the book here and put your address. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For single member District 5, Mrs. Melinda Cox. Will I be administering it for you? Yes. Okay. Please raise your right hand and read the oath of office statement that's been provided to you.
I, Melinda Cox, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee, Northeast ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
If you could please sign here. I will notarize. if you could please sign my book and put your address. For single member District 6, Mrs. Terry Chidgey. Mrs. Chidgey, can you please introduce who will be administering your oath today?
The Honorable Judge Steve Young.
Whenever you're ready.
Ms. Terry Chidgey, would you raise your right hand? Would you please read the oath of your office statement that has been provided to you?
I, Terry Chidgey, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Office of Trustee, Northeast ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
You will sign here, and then, sir, you will sign below at the witness. And if you can sign here and then write your name, type your name. Congratulations. Mrs. Grona, we have completed the required steps of qualifying newly elected trustees for office. As set forth by the Secretary of State's office in Election Advisory Number 2024-11, newly sworn officers may assume the duties of their office after taking the oath of office.
Thank you, Mrs. Caldwell. Congratulations. Before we move to the next item, I would ask you to please come take an empty seat, and I think at this time, Ms. Huey, you could leave. And I'll leave in just a minute. I have one more thing I have to do. So come take an empty seat up here, please. No, come on.
I'm Diane.
You can be Dr. Micah for a minute. So we find ourselves in an unusual situation. Now that the board trustees have assumed their offices, there is no returning board officer to preside at this meeting. Board policy and operating procedures do not specify the presiding member in the absence of all officers. The next item on the agenda is the election of officers in accordance with board policy BDAA, legal and local. I have a script prepared to help the new board with the next agenda item. So who would like to preside at this time? Marcia? Okay. So if you'll just read the script and follow it, please.
Item 2, Board Business C, Election of Officers for the Board of Trustees. As required by applicable law and board policy, the Northeast ISD Board of Trustees will now proceed with the selection of board officers. In our district, there are 3 board officer positions: president, vice president, and secretary. Now that the board has conducted the canvass and all new elected trustees have been sworn in, we will proceed with the necessary selection of officers. The process we will follow will begin with the selection of the president position. Board Policy BDAA Local states that the president of the board shall have at least 1 year of board experience. In a moment, I will open the floor and recognize any member who wishes to nominate a trustee for president. Any member making a nomination can explain why he or she is nominating that trustee for president. Thereafter, I will ask if there is a second for the nomination. If there is, I will then open the floor and recognize any trustee who wishes to make comments on the nomination. Prior to calling for a vote on the nomination, I will ask if any other member has any other nominations for president. If there is, I will follow the same process. Once all nominations are made, I will call for a board vote in the order that individuals were nominated. The first nominee who receives a majority of the board vote will be the president. The same process will be followed for vice president and secretary positions. Does anyone have any questions about the process? No questions? All right. Does anyone have a nominee for president for the board?
I do. David Byer.
Second?
All right. David has been nominated, I'm sorry, Mr. Byer has been nominated and seconded for president. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I guess since we voted unanimously, we don't need to have another nomination, right? All right. So do we have a nominee for vice president?
I do. Terry Tidgy.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any additional nominations?
Marcia Landry.
Do we have a second? All right. All in favor of Terry Chidgey for vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. All right. And so for the next position for secretary, do we have a nomination for secretary?
I do. Lisa Thompson.
All right. Do we have another nomination?
Marcia Landry.
Do we have a second on Lisa Thompson?
Madam Chair, point of order. I believe the way you read it, we have to nominate and get a second, and then nominate and get a second. Is that not correct?
Okay, that may be correct. I may have gone out of order. So we have a nomination for Lisa Thompson for secretary, and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. All right, and now we have our secretary, vice president, and president positions appointed and elected. All right, I believe that
Does that fall to me now? Thank you, everybody. I guess we will say item 3 for tonight, adjournment, and the time is 5:55.